Influencers are winning legal battles while from YouTubers to TikTokers, social media influencers are winning legal battles while covering the case of a missing Sumner County teen, Sebastian Rogers. This is Caitlin Quisenberry spoke with some of the content creators facing lawsuits and now defending their right to speak out.
The whole reason why we're here is I wouldn't let people violate my freedoms of speech.
Nobody should ever threaten or intimidate a frivolous lawsuit against people who just don't agree with your opinion.
Even though we're the ones suing you, we are suing you only because we want you to stop breaking the law. Stop breaking the law. Stop. That's it. You can discuss the case. You can give opinions. You can't say stuff like, this individual is a murderous pedophile. You can't say that. You can't say that this individual had something to do with somebody that died on their yard. You can't say that. Now, the fact that the people that you never met are willing to help you speaks volumes.
Just the worst part is that it's all on the back of a missing child.
Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 25th of last year. By March, several YouTubers and TikTokers joined the search, but that exposure quickly led to legal trouble. 2 separate cases were filed, one in Sumner County, another in Pennsylvania.
These people band together to harass and intimidate.
So this, of course, is Bullhorn Betty, and this declaration outlines the profound harm I have endured due to an organized campaign of harassment, defamation, and intimidation initiated by 2 individuals, Granny's Watching and Barbecue Lady. This campaign was not an isolated incident. It was a well-coordinated, sustained effort that involved multiple people acting in concert to tarnish my reputation, disrupt my work, and incite fear in every aspect of my life. This was not just an isolated incident. This was a well-coordinated and sustained effort involving multiple people who acted in concert to damage my reputation, disrupt my work, and make me feel unsafe in my own life. I first became aware of Granny in 2021 when I was covering the high-profile case of Summer Wells. At that time, she was relatively unknown, but as I began reporting on other cases, particularly Quentin Simon's case, her attacks on me became more frequent and malicious. It seemed that as my reach grew, so did her hostility. Granny started using her platform to spread false and defamatory information about me. I would see her rallying her followers to discredit me, questioning my motives and my work, despite the fact that I have always approached every case with sincerity and care. I just want to mention real quick, I saw something else today that with RICO, 5 years is the statute of limitations. So for whatever that's worth. There are some exceptions to that, but that's the general. It wasn't just casual remarks, but there was a clear pattern. As I began to investigate the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers in March 2024, the attacks against me intensified significantly. I was called a tragedy pimp and a grifter, words that struck me deeply, especially because I have never sought personal gain from the work I do. These false claims were broadcast widely, and they were clearly designed to damage my professional reputation. This wasn't just idle gossip, it was an organized effort to destroy my credibility. Each defamatory statement chipped away at my reputation in the eyes of those who once trusted my integrity. This campaign didn't stop at defamation. Granny and her followers took things further by making false reports about me to law enforcement, which ultimately led to my unjust arrest. I was deeply shaken when I realized that the charges were based on fabricated claims from people under her influence. The level of coordination behind these false reports was terrifying. It wasn't just a random person trying to stir trouble. It was a group effort to disrupt my investigation and discredit my work. Barbecue Lady soon joined forces with Granny. Barbecue Lady echoed and even amplified the false accusations, creating a united front. Their attacks were not only calculated, but also sustained over time. It felt as though they were working in tandem, ensuring that no matter how much I tried to move past the lies, their coordinated efforts would keep. Their behavior has extended well beyond online defamation. Together, they have rallied their followers to participate in a broader conspiracy of harassment and cyberstalking, involving multiple online creators who seem to operate under their direction. One of the most frightening aspects of this ordeal has been the doxing. At one point, my home address was posted online. I began receiving messages that made me fear for my safety. The idea that strangers might show up at my home has caused me to live in constant fear. I've had to take extra precautions to protect myself and my family. On or about July 27th, 2023, Burnt Toast, another individual involved in this coordinated effort, posted a comment on X. The post referenced another online creator Dolly Vision, stating that Dolly Vision to use the lawsuit against me to his advantage by going through my personal texts and details during depositions. This isn't just internet drama. It has escalated into a campaign of stalking, threats, harassment, much of which is incited by Granny, BBQ, their associates, and followers. Beyond the emotional toll, these attacks have deeply affected me financially. Granny and BBQ spread false allegations that I was involved in fraudulent schemes, claiming I had inappropriate relationships with others involved in the investigation, such as Seth Rogers and Tony Mathis. These baseless accusations were meant to undermine my credibility and sabotage my professional work, especially in sensitive, high-profile cases. Some people who once trusted my work have distanced themselves, no longer willing to be associated with me, of the reputation damage caused by these false narratives. The most painful part of this is that BBQ and Granny have used their platforms to build what feels like a cult-like following, a group of people who seem eager to act on their behalf, to spread hate and to cause real tangible harm to me. These attacks have been orchestrated in such a way that it's hard to see this as anything other than a coordinated campaign. On an unknown date, Queen Bee, another prominent figure in the group harassing me, posted a derogatory definition of me on the Urban Dictionary, labeling me a tragedy pimp and using hateful language to diminish my character. This post was yet another layer of public humiliation designed to mock and damage me. Attached here to and labeled Exhibit 4 is a true and correct copy of the defamatory post.
Sorry.
On or about May 8th, 2024, Queen Bee publicly solicited donations for her legal defense fund, stating that the money was needed to stop me from succeeding in my lawsuit against her in Illinois. The actions of BBQ, Granny, and their network have caused me significant emotional, professional, and financial harm. Their relentless efforts have made it incredibly difficult for me to continue my work, to protect my reputation, and to feel safe in my everyday life. What started as online bullying has now become something much bigger and more dangerous. I live with the constant threat that something worse could happen, and it's taken a tremendous toll on my mental and emotional health. I am prepared to testify under oath to provide detailed accounts of these organized, sustained attacks, including the incitement of harassment, the continuous threats of my life, and the severe emotional and professional harm that I've endured.
The first case involved a protection order filed by Sebastian's mother and stepfather against Andrea Griffin, known online as Bullhorn Betty, accused of harassment and stalking.
And I've never talked to these people. I've never tried to even interview these people.
They later claimed Griffin violated that order, citing hashtags and online comments. But a Sumner County grand jury declined to indict her due to a lack of evidence, ending the case.
When it comes to my speech, it's emboldened me more because it angered me. Like, how dare somebody trample on my freedom of speech? I'm from Florida, and this is a public interest case, and I'm entitled to my opinions.
Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, Sebastian's biological father, Griffin, Dog the Bounty Hunter, and 7 others sued 2 YouTubers and 50 more people who were not named for harassment and endangering their safety.
Just the entire frivolous nature and the financial strain that it brought upon us, because nobody has, tens of thousands of dollars laying around just to, find legal representation.
I have also endured constant cyber harassment, and the threats against my life and safety have grown more frequent and more severe. I live with the daily anxiety of wondering who might come after me next. Every time I see a new messenger post, I feel my heart race, fearing that it could escalate to real-world violence. So that's Bullhorn Betty's statement there. I see you sitting up on your stream yesterday morning trying to blame 2 creators of bullying you with the intent of making you unalive yourself on a live stream. You're basically saying that BS just to get attention and sympathy from people. This email was another attack on my mental well-being, attempting to dismiss the real pain and harm caused by the harassment.
The judge dismissed the case and ordered the plaintiffs to pay the defendants' legal fees.
It has caused me to never want to help, use my platform to raise awareness, because this has obviously cost an enormous financial impact.
On December 10th, 2023, I received an email from Blank Screen veiled threat saying, "You better hope your backup channel isn't connected to your AdSense account on your main channel. If that gets terminated, that backup channel of yours gets terminated along with it. LOL. Molly learned that the hard way. Your time is up. You just don't realize it yet." This email left me feeling even more vulnerable, knowing that these people were targeting not only my reputation, but also my financial means and livelihood.
And we were spreading awareness.
Are engaged in the urgent and sensitive task of locating Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, a 15-year-old missing child last seen on February 25th, 2024 in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Despite extensive efforts, Sebastian remains missing, necessitating a coordinated and uninterrupted search. The search for Sebastian Rogers has proven far more difficult than a typical missing teenager investigation, as a few ill-intentioned individuals have sought to cast Mr. Rogers as a villain. Meanwhile, others have conducted Salem witch trial-like panels aimed at intimidating potential witnesses. That's something there, or discouraging those who may have useful information from coming forward. I think we've all witnessed some of this. So some of these individuals uncomfortably close to Mr. Rogers include his ex-wife, Kate Proudfoot, and her husband, Christopher Proudfoot. Others are so-called content creators, in quotes, and I'm not doing that out of demeaning, there's the quotes, whose sole aim seems to be inviting, inciting, instructing, and destroying the lives of anyone who dares to search for answers or help locate the missing teenager. As set forth below, defendants have engaged in reckless and unlawful actions, including the dissemination of false information, harassment, threats, and interference, which have severely disrupted the search operations. Defendants' actions have caused significant harm, diverted critical resources, and impeded plaintiffs' lawful efforts to locate Sebastian. What they are trying to show, I think, is the ongoing harassment and interference that happened over a long period of time, that this is not just out of nowhere, like one day of harassment and then they file a suit. They're showing and laying out evidence of a lengthy, ongoing pattern of harassment, interference, and a variety of other crimes throughout this period. I am Seth Rogers, the biological father of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. From the very beginning, I've been certain in my gut that my ex-wife, Kate Proudfoot, and her husband, Chris Proudfoot, were involved in the disappearance of my son, Sebastian. Chris asked me to, in quotes, get our story straight, end quote, about Sebastian, implying that he wanted me to lie. When I refused, they both cut off all communication with me. They've shown no interest in finding our son, and their behavior only deepens my belief that they're hiding something. Every day that goes by without their help only makes me more certain that they know more than they're saying about what happened to Sebastian. For 7 long months, I've been living the nightmare of a missing child. It's something no parent should ever have to face. The pain is unbearable, and it's made even worse by the fact that the very people who should have cared, Kate and Chris, have turned their backs on me. Instead of searching for Sebastian, they've aligned themselves with people more interested in tearing me down than finding my son. I feel like I'm being blocked at every turn by the Proudfoots and their group of online creators. They've spread rumors, attacked me publicly, and worked to discredit me. It feels like a coordinated effort to silence me and shift the blame rather than help me find my boy. Oh. The way Michaela T. Rev and their group of creators, people like Barbecue Lady, Granny's Watching, Queen Bee, and JLR exploited my pain for their gain is nothing short of cruel. The attacks against me haven't just stayed online. They followed me to work where I serve as a deputy at Davidson County Jail. Barbecue Lady, along with others like Granny's Watching, Queen Bee, and Cluminati, has spread rumors that I'm involved in the murder of a child and that I'm a pedophile. These lies have put my life in danger and work. I work in the maximum security section of the jail, and if word gets out about those false accusations, I know I could be stabbed or killed by inmates. Barbecue Lady even accused one of my co-workers of being under investigation for time card fraud, trying to stir up trouble in my workplace. These attacks aren't random. They're part of a coordinated effort to ruin my life and make it impossible for me to do my job safely. I long suspected that Kate and Chris Proudfoot are hiding something about Sebastian's disappearance. Their refusal to help and their cold behavior only makes me more certain of it. Early on, Barbecue Lady came to me in person, offering to help. But after she met with the Proudfoots, her behavior changed. It's like she switched sides, and her attacks on me and those helping me became much more aggressive. This makes me wonder what exactly was discussed during that meeting. In addition to the Proudfoots, there's a whole group of online creators who have made it their mission to destroy my life. People like Cluminati, SF Investigates, and Stephen Crabtree have used their platforms to spread lies about me, calling me a child killer, in quotes, and a pedophile, in quotes. These are dangerous accusations, and they've taken a toll on me both personally and professionally. Stephen Crabtree didn't even have a YouTube channel before my son went missing. He created his channel specifically to capitalize on my tragedy, aligning himself with Cluminati and others in the online group. This gang of creators has turned my pain into their entertainment and profit. To make matters worse, the Proudfoots recently posed for a photo with Cluminati and Stephen, smiling as if they were all in some kind of sick joke. Oh, we're all in on some kind of sick joke. They pretended to search for Sebastian, but their actions felt more like mockery than a genuine effort. A true and correct copy of the photo taken on or around September 29, 2024, depicting Kate and Chris Proudfoot alongside Cluminati, her spouse or romantic partner, and Steve Fisher, SF Investigates, is attached here to as Exhibit 1 and incorporated by reference herein. The threats haven't stopped. I've been told by people connected to the Proudfoots that there will be consequences for anyone who speaks out against them. Chris even told my ex-wife that if I open my mouth about what I knew, it won't ever open again. It feels like they're using their power and connections to silence me, and I don't know how much longer I can fight this battle on my own. Your Honor, I'm just a father trying to find his son. I've been betrayed by people I thought I could trust, and I'm fighting against a coordinated group of individuals who seem more interested in destroying me than helping me find my boy. I don't have the resources or the power that these people do, but I do have a father's love for his son, and that's what keeps me going. Every second that ticks by, my son's life hangs in the balance. If he's still out there, every day that passes without finding him could mean the difference between life and death, and I can't help but feel like the Proudfoots and those online creators are helping time run out on him. Their silence, their lies, their attacks, they're not just bystanders, they're accomplices to whatever's happening to my boy. If my son dies out there alone, they'll have blood on their hands. The Proudfoots, the step-parents who should have helped, they've turned into silencers. The in-laws, the ones who could have supported me, have turned into outlaws. And these online creators, they've gone from telling stories to being killers in their own way. They're destroying my family bit by bit, and it's time for this to end. I'm exhausted, I'm heartbroken, and I just want someone to listen. And help me bring my son home.
Oh, sorry.
This is my truth, and I hope you understand how much I need your help to find Sebastian and hold those responsible accountable.
In Nashville, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
We reached out to Dog the Bounty Hunter's team for comment, but have not yet heard back. If you have any information about Sebastian's whereabouts, call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI. Those numbers are on our website.